All right, so we're here with Andrew. He's the owner of the black FRS that we've been working on for the past 3 weeks. And he's gonna get to see it for the very first time. So let's go ahead and check it out. What is up, YouTube? Johnny B here again today, and we're gonna be working on a 2013 Scion FRS. It's gonna be a little bit different. You know, obviously we do a lot of these, but this car has been neglected for a very long time. Its original owner built it, you know, made it a rocket bunny, lowered it, wheels, etc. But did a very poor job at it. All the cuts are jagged, the paint is fading everywhere. So the car was repainted at one point. The car scrapes on everything because the car is so low. And the new owner bought it as a project car. He wanted to have like a nice, cool wide body project. Car already came wide body. It was terribly done. It was riveted on, and then on top of that, they siliconed the edges versus, you know, using a rubber liner like I did with mine. So just taking that off was a big pain. He did that. The bumper was destroyed, so we're gonna be putting on a new bumper. We got some mods there. We have a plethora of stuff that we're gonna be installing. So this is gonna be probably a video of the car, you know, seeing how it looks now, seeing how it looks after, and then a lot of in-between videos are gonna be installations like with the radio that we're gonna be doing. It's gonna be have a cool like stereo system in it, and then on top of that, we're gonna do a lot of wiring and whatnot. So let's get to it. It's a big job. It's gonna take me maybe 2-3 weeks. Typically a car like this will come in completely stock. I'll wide body it and paint match it, install the wheels, get it all done, ready to go for the customer. Even install suspension in under a week or in about a week. But this car is gonna take about, you know, twice or maybe 3 times that because of all the details that it has and all the other things that we need to install with it as well. So let me show you guys the car so we can see how it looks like before. So here it is. You can see there is the silicone they put. There's a dent here with missing paint. Paint's fading here. Paint's fading on the hood. So that's gonna need to be repaired. I'm tried making these new again. There's a lot of like little orange peel on it, so we're gonna fix that for him. They're obviously not mounted right because they're supposed to sit in front of the fender, not behind it. The car is extremely low. The tires are a bit too stretched. Tires need to be replaced, so that's like one of the other things we needed to do. Look at that. The tire is completely worn out. This is fading, so we're gonna need to do something about that. The cut is so jagged and ugly looking that it hurts my eyes, so I'm gonna be recutting that. This wheel has a bit of damage on it on the edges, so we're gonna kind of refinish the wheel. Rocket Bunny kit holes are all destroyed. Look at that. So it looks like he tried putting on riv nuts, but if you don't know how to do it, I recommend don't trying it, because when you strip one or you mess it up and you can't get a bolt in, you have to take it out, and that's what happens here. You make a big old hole. Harder job for me. The rear cut is hideous. Yeah, what more can I say? Look at that cut is gonna like interfere there. The rear bumper is clearly interfering. It's not even cut. This little spat is falling off. We have even more damaged clear coat on this rear. The plastic diffuser is all faded, so we could probably restore that or just remove it entirely. It looks cool when you remove that. This light as well, it's like yellow and faded. The clear coat is coming off of this quarter panel all the way up here. Then we have a big dent right here, which looks like it's from buckling. They must have bottomed out the car, came up, folded this, bent that, and then bent it all the way up here. So this part's gonna be visible. I'm gonna try to fix that for him. Just look at that cut. So So you guys know what type of work I do. You can see the side skirt came up to like here, but then the body kit came to here. So I'm guessing they bolted the kit on top of the side skirt. The paint isn't so shiny, it's very faded. It's missing a lot of things. We're gonna be installing some seats. He tried installing some seats, but he couldn't get them on there. So it's literally only being held on by 2 bolts. The seat's not even here yet. And then the windshield wiper is completely broken off. This part's all faded. So pretty much, he wants this car to be immaculate. It's gonna be a lot of work to get this car to come back as a nice, clean Rocket Bunny build. Like I said, it's been neglected for a while. So as I'm looking around the car, check this out. This ain't even bolted. It's all loose. And you can see here that this has been Bondoed before. There's quite a thick layer of Bondo on this. So this has all been repaired at one point. And there was the dent that was here. I was able to like kind of flatten it out. Gonna need a little bit of body work here, but now there's no visible crease. So to start off, we're gonna go ahead and put the car on all 4 jack stands. That way we get the car up off the ground. They forgot to cut this, or I guess they didn't know, but you can see there's a spot where the paint was rubbing off. Fix that. It was all folded forward. It would have most likely interfered with the tire when turning at full lock. Grinded it down with a floppy disc to give it a nice angle, and then it was painted with Rust-Oleum flat black around the metal edges to make sure that that doesn't rust. And then we got one of the bolts on, so now this side isn't all loose like it was earlier. So this is the cuts that it has on this side. Just as bad. There was just enough material to be able to weld it. So as you can see there, I went ahead and welded it. Now we can go ahead and put the new kit on, which hopefully I can make work, because there's all kinds of holes from different attempts at making the body kit fit. Now we have this headlight mounted correctly in front of the fender like it's supposed to be. Gear, it goes all the way to reverse, and it goes into reverse, so you have to like very weirdly like kind of stop halfway, put it into first like that. That looks like they didn't install one of these last time they installed the clutch. This is actually your reverse lockout sleeve. So I went ahead and put the wheels back on after I adjusted the suspension. We put some new front tires because they were all worn out. And the interior, it was missing seats. The stereo was old and we just needed to upgrade it. And I installed these seats for him that he brought for me. And then we also installed the stereo. He got all this stuff off of Amazon. It's relatively cheap, you know, it's his first build, so he's not going too expensive. The stereo was like 150 bucks. The seats were like 300 bucks on Amazon. but it looks a lot nicer. I'm guessing his seats before were probably ripped, so he wanted to change it up. One of the things that the customer wanted me to address was the plastics are all faded. I haven't done that one yet since we're going to be doing body work. I don't want to get it all dirty. So the goal is just to make this car look as new as possible and get rid of a lot of the oxidation, the paint clear, the dents. And with the interior done, the suspension setup done, the wide body kit installed done, and you know, a few mods, a few installs that we have to do more over there, then the build is getting closer to completion. But the before and after is going to be crazy once we're done with this. So we're doing a little bit of prep before we get everything painted, removing the tail lights, removing a lot of the trim. This little door trim here needs to be removed so we can get a nice finish there. Also removed little fender garners. That's going to get switched out for a carbon fiber piece, so that doesn't need to be painted. But even regardless, you got to remove it if you're going to paint this properly, because you don't want to have a seam right here. You want it to just paint all the way through. Headlights removed, bumper we're going to keep off. We're going to remove the rear bumper as well, paint that separately. Obviously we're going to remove that, remove the lip, because that's not going to get painted. The kit's all going to get removed. This piece here, depending on the customer, we might leave on and just paint it together. It won't get painted under, but it won't be visible regardless. Or if the customer wants to do it right, then we would just take the piece off, paint this separate, paint the fender separate. These TRD side skirts don't fit with the Rocket Bunny V1, but with a little bit of modifications, I can make them fit, and they're gonna look really nice, kind of like if they were part of the kit as well. So these are reps, obviously, that's why we're chopping them up. We're not chopping up like legit TRD ones. So I took the kit off before paint. I went ahead and sanded down each of these mounting spots. So that way when we go to mount the kit, it's actually gonna sit way more flush on the car. We're gonna be putting the rubber liner on it, but I wanted to sit as flush as possible. There was a huge gap, as you can see here in that spot. So here we are, I've been grinding down, and you can see now I grinded down the back of this front fender, and look at that. There's absolutely no gap. It just solves that gap issue that comes with these kits. Yeah, it's super nice. We're gonna make this car look like a show car quality. All right, so we got most of the car masked off. The things that we were gonna paint are on the car, and it's looking good. We primered a lot of the pieces that they had a lot of like different dents and scratches that we needed to do repairs on. Sanded it all down. We're gonna paint it all together on the car. You can see the bumper's not on properly. That way we can kind of paint in the gaps. And then the side skirts are on as well. And everything's just masked off. And we're just making sure that nothing else is gonna get sprayed. The little shark fin is gonna get paint matched as well, because it was white. It was just wrapped with some black carbon before. So we're gonna do actual paint on it. Now the next thing I'm gonna do is add adhesion promoter to all of the plastic parts. Make sure that the paint sticks on there really nicely. The car is now all clear coated and shiny. I'm looking super nice. Look at that. We're gonna have to clean up some lint and stuff like that, but for the most part, you know, the whole car is looking super shiny. That's what I wanted, no drips. The metallic is looking nice in it. The car is gonna look amazing once it's done. And I also painted the shark fin, as you guys can see there. After the paint, we were removing all of the masking that we did. We've got to pretty much remove every single little bit where we put, make sure that we weren't getting overspray. We got some inside the doors that I haven't taken off, but look at that. It looks so good with the wheels like that. With the white and the black contrast, it's looking super shiny. It's so shiny, it's making everything else look super dull. So we're gonna have to, you know, bring some life back into all these things. You can see the reflection in the window, in the car, in the window, in the car. So now we're in the process of sanding down the car, getting a lot of the little dust specks that landed on it. We wanted to do that before we restored any of the trim and made it look nice. We're getting the main pieces, where like the top pieces where just dirt likes to land on. The sides, it's not too much, but I'm gonna go ahead and remove some of the orange peel, and we're gonna make it all extra shiny, because the orange peel can reduce some of the shininess, as well as sanding the roof to remove a lot of the oxidation to get the shine to come back out. Getting most of the orange peel off, getting a lot of the little dust specks that landed on top. Most of the time on the side pieces, kind of like the door, the dust doesn't really settle on it, so that's nice. So I'm halfway done with the hood, getting the shine out. You can see the parts where we sanded down and the parts that's been polished. Big difference. And this is only the first step of getting the car up to showroom quality shine. I got the taillights on, got the rear bumper on. I gave it a polish, getting it to shine up. I still have to do the second step, but after I'm done doing the first step on all of the parts that I'm doing, that way I don't have to change the pad too often. So I'm here putting the car back together. I went ahead and took off this over fender because I wanted to make sure that it was nice underneath. So I went ahead and flat blacked it, since that was the section that didn't get painted. Wanted to make sure that in case, you know, he had to run it without the over fender or something, or it looks under there like it's gonna look good regardless of you know, it not being painted there. So I think that looks cool. It looks kind of like a makeshift over fender. So we have the one that we're going to be putting on here. Went ahead and drilled out the holes for the bigger hardware, and then we put the actual Rocket Bunny rubber liner all the way around. That way we can get a nice seal. So let's go ahead and put it on. I already put the rib nuts, and we're going to be using these Allen head bolts to bolt the kit down. The self tappers that were on there before got painted, obviously, you know, black, and these are going to make it, you know, stand out a little bit more. We are installing this trim here, which we removed to be able to paint the car. We didn't want to have to mask it off, so we just went ahead and removed that whole trim. So we're just putting all the trims back as we're going, and we got one side done with the new rib nuts and with the rubber liner, so it's looking really good. Obviously the car is getting a little bit dusty just because of the polish, so that's going to be cleaned up after, but look at the back, it's looking really good as well. Carbon fiber fender garnishes, you're going to mount there. You actually have to remove the OEM one, which we removed anyways because we were going to paint it, but this one's just going to sit right there in its place and stand out and look really nice. So got the carbon fiber fender garnish installed, and it looks really good. It's kind of like a TRD knockoff, but it's made out of actual carbon fiber. Got this side of the body kit on. You can see where we flat blacked any of the spots that weren't painted, and we're getting the front fender on as well, since we got the other side done, and it's looking very, very nice. So getting close. Still some more mods that we need to do to it, but we're just trying to finish up the body. Now I'm starting to put some of the trim. We're using some Turtle Wax Trim Restorer. You can see how it was before and how it comes out after. And this actually gets, after a while, the little like glossiness comes off, and it just stays nice and black. And it's gonna look way better than how it was before. And we're pretty much done. This is a little final walk around before the customer gets here. He still has like some louvers and stuff, but I think he's gonna install those himself, save some money on the install, because doing a whole like refresh and making his car look like new and fixing like every single little detail got the price up a little bit higher than he expected, but that's what he wanted. He wanted the car to be perfect. He wanted all the little, you know, areas that were dents here, there. The wheels were scuffed. He wanted all the trim to look like new. So pretty much he wanted his car to look like new, you know. So this is a 2013, and the paint was already fading. A lot of the plastics were damaged. The alignment and everything was all messed up. So I went ahead and pretty much repaired everything, plus a ton of installs. But I'm very happy with the results, and I'm sure as soon as he sees it, we're gonna get to see his reaction with how the car came out. We were gonna install an eBay wing, but I talked with him, and you know, kind of came to an agreement that it would just make this build look a lot more cheap, a little bit ricey. So we left it without the wing. It was just a knockoff eBay wing. Later on, if he wants a wing, I told him to just get like a Voltex or like a Big Country Lab, just a little bit more reputable wing that's gonna actually make his car look super good. But yeah, there it is. It's looking super good. We're just gonna wait for him to come in. We're gonna see his reaction. He didn't want any emblems, but we might be able to put like the Toyota emblem on there to make it look good, which is on his old bumper over there. All right, so we're here with Andrew. He's the owner of the black FRS that we've been working on for the past 3 weeks, and he's gonna get to see it for the very first time. So let's go ahead and check it out.
It's all about humanity. About humanity. It's all about humanity. About humanity. It's all about humanity.
You did
good, Johnny.
What do you think?
Oh my god.
You remember the dents? Remember the faded paint? You had cracks on your door right here before? And then we got these little carbon fiber fins installed.
Yep. Oh my god, Johnny. You did good.
This isn't your car, by the way. This is a whole different car.
Oh, okay.
You imagine you coming here like, is this really my car? Like compared to how it came in before?
It looks like a different car, yeah. That's crazy.
And it's off. Car's out of here. You guys saw the before of how the car came in. It's been through 5 different owners since it was bought new in 2013. So the first owner built it. I found him on the Arizona 86 group. He had the car looking super nice. It's had the same wheels and the same wide body kit. So nobody really changed it that much apart from other things. And then some others just kind of like trashed it to the point where Andrew picked it up, got it for $6K, which is a steal for a Rocket Bunny wide body car that's already on suspension and already has its mods here and there. And the car only has 50,000 miles, so it was not driven that much. So the interior was actually really nice. It's just the outside, the paint, it was all faded. It's just from neglect. So we took it in, we fixed all the issues that the car had, and now the car is looking gorgeous. And Andrew's in it for a relatively good deal. I think he's in it for like around 11 with the parts that he bought. And that's what Rocket Bunny FRS sell for. They'll sell for like 12, 13, 14, 15, depending on the quality of the build. And now his car is looking, super good. It's gonna be a nice car at the car shows, and he's gonna get a chance, to enjoy it. He's not planning on selling it, but he just wanted to, make his car dream, come a reality. And we were able to do that for him. We did a lot of stuff that he didn't quite understand that we did, but once he sees this video, he'll be able to tell all the work and time that went into making this car what it turned out to be. So as always, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. You guys have a great day.